Hey there! Ever look out your window and think, it's just a little too quiet? Maybe you see a sparrow here and there, but you're dreaming of something more. Well, get ready, because today we're going to talk about how to turn that quiet patch of green into an all-out, bustling paradise for local birds. And the secret? It's all about native plants. Okay, let's get into it.
And honestly, this quote just nails it, right? And bam, bird party. That's that aha moment we're talking about. You realize it's not just about, hanging up a bird feeder and calling it a day. Nope. This is about creating a whole ecosystem that basically sends out an open invitation for life to show up. It's a total game changer for how you look at your own backyard. And trust me, the results are wow.
All right, so let's get to the heart of it. Why is your yard so quiet? I mean, you've got grass, maybe some pretty flowers you picked up at the big box store. Shouldn't that be enough? Shouldn't the birds be flocking in? Well, as it turns out, the real reason is hiding in plain sight.
And that brings us to this idea of a food desert. You know, those perfect, pristine lawns and those fancy, exotic flowers from halfway across the world? To us, they look beautiful. But to a bird, it's like a grocery store where all the shelves are empty. They're all looks, no substance. They don't have the right seeds, the right berries, and this is the big one. They don't host the insects that local birds need to survive and raise their babies. It's basically junk food for wildlife.
So what's the secret? What's the key that unlocks this whole bird paradise? Well, here's the good news. It's not about spending a ton of money on fancy gadgets or complicated feeders. The solution is actually super simple and elegant. It's all about going back to basics, with native plants.
So let's break this down, a little side-by-side comparison. In one corner, you've got native plants. These guys are the local champions. They grew up here, they're perfectly suited to your soil and your weather, which means they're way easier for you to take care of. But for birds, oh man, they're the whole package deal. The right food, the perfect shelter, the best nesting spots. Then, in the other corner, you have the non-natives. And look, they might be pretty, but they're strangers in a strange land. The local birds and insects literally don't recognize them. They haven't had thousands of years to build a relationship. So they just can't support the local food web. It's a dead end for wildlife.
All right, I'm hoping you're on board now. Ready to ditch that food desert and start building a full-on bird oasis? Awesome. So the big question is, where do you start? Let's roll up our sleeves and get into the fun part, the how-to.
Okay, here are some absolute rock stars to get you thinking. For shrubs, things like serviceberry are amazing. They give you flowers in the spring and then berries in the summer. For trees, you can't go wrong with something like an oak. Oaks they're basically apartment buildings for caterpillars, which is like the #1 baby food for birds. And then for flowers, coneflowers, black-eyed Susans, they're like a seed buffet that lasts for months. The big takeaway here? Variety is your best friend.
But wait a second, I know what you're thinking. A plant that's native to, say, Florida isn't going to be native to Oregon, right? So how in the world do you figure out what's actually native to your neck of the woods?
Well, lucky for us, it's easier than ever. Seriously, you've got amazing resources just a click away. First, check out your state or province's Native Plant Society website. They are treasure troves of info. Second, just ask. Go to a good local nursery, not a big chain store, but a real local one, and ask what native plants they carry. And third, my personal favorite, is the Audubon Native Plant Finder tool online. You literally just type in your zip code and bam, it spits out a whole list of plants perfect for your area. It's incredible.
Okay, here's a pro tip for you. When you're planting, think in layers, like three-dimensionally. You don't want just a flat carpet of flowers. You want some low ground cover, then some medium-sized shrubs, and then some taller trees. Why? Because different birds hang out at different heights. By creating these layers, you're not just planting a garden, you're basically building a bird skyscraper, complete with a 5-star restaurant on every floor.
And here's another key strategy. Think about your garden as a year-round, all-you-can-eat buffet. You gotta keep the menu interesting. In the spring, you need those early flowers for nectar and insects for all the new baby birds. In the summer, it's all about seeds and more insects. Come fall, it's berry season, super important for birds that are about to migrate. And even in the dead of winter, evergreens provide critical shelter and berries when there's nothing else to eat. If you plan for all 4 seasons, you'll have happy customers all year long. I love this idea of a bird Airbnb. It's so true. You can have the best food in town, but birds aren't going to stick around if they don't feel safe. They need places to hide from predators, to build nests, to just chill out. So planting dense shrubs or some evergreens creates those safe little hideouts.
It's what turns your yard from just a restaurant into a 5-star resort they never want to leave.
Oh, and you absolutely cannot forget about water. It's a total game changer. Birds need it for drinking, obviously, but also for bathing to keep their feathers in good shape. And you don't need a giant, expensive pond. A simple, shallow bird bath works perfectly. Pro tip, the sound of dripping water is like a magnet for birds. Just do them a favor and keep it fresh and clean, okay?
Okay, so the stage is set. You've got the plants, you've got the water, your oasis is taking shape. So now what? How do you keep this place healthy and safe for all your new little friends?
This next part is maybe the most important rule of all. If you remember one thing, make it this: avoid all chemicals. I'm serious. Your garden is now a tiny living ecosystem, a delicate food web. And pesticides, they're like a nuclear bomb dropped right in the middle of it.
So let's think about why. When you spray for what you think are pests, what you're really doing is wiping out the bird food. Those caterpillars aren't pests, they're baby bird food. Plus, the chemicals themselves can poison the birds directly. So what's the solution? You let nature handle it. A healthy yard full of native plants will attract its own security force. Ladybugs, spiders, lacewings, they'll take care of the pests for you for free.
And you know what? Here's the best part. For anyone who, like me, is a bit of a lazy gardener, a little mess is a good thing. I'm giving you permission to be a little messy. Leave the leaves on the ground in the fall. They provide cover for insects, which becomes, you guessed it, bird food. Don't rush to cut back all your flowers once they're done blooming. Let them go to seed. The birds will absolutely love you for it.
All right, let's bring it all home. Let's put all the pieces together and look at what this backyard paradise really looks like when it's up and running. So once you built that solid foundation, the native plants that provide the real food and shelter, now you can add the icing on the cake. This is where things like feeders and birdhouses come in. Think of it this way. Your native plants are the amazing venue and the gourmet meal for the party. The feeders? They're just the extra bowl of snacks on the table. They're a great bonus, but they can't replace the main event.
So here's your blueprint, your master plan. It all starts with native plants. That's your non-negotiable foundation for food and shelter. Then you add a reliable water source. You commit to keeping the whole place chemical-free to keep it safe. And then, for fun, you can toss in the extras like feeders. See how it all works together? It's a complete living system. And this quote really brings it all home, doesn't it? Slightly messy yard, bird party all night. That's the takeaway. The goal here isn't to have a perfect, sterile golf course lawn that's silent as a library. The goal is to have a living, breathing, maybe slightly messy space that's absolutely thrumming with life. So the final question is pretty simple. Are you ready to trade a little bit of that perfection for a yard that's truly, wonderfully, and wildly alive?